let's just start by taking in this beautiful invocation. It talks about Surya, the divine sun, standing on a lotus. I mean, this isn't just pretty poetry. It's a window into a totally different way of seeing the world, a world where the sun is so much more than a hot ball of gas. It's a conscious, guiding intelligence.
All right, so today we are looking up at the most powerful force in our solar system, the sun. But we're going way, way beyond astronomy here. Through the lens of Vedic astrology, we're going to see the sun, or Surya, as something deeply personal, as the very symbol of our soul, our core identity, and our own inner authority. So let's dive in. Now, before we get into the really deep Vedic stuff, we have to get one thing straight. This reverence for the sun, it's completely universal. This isn't some niche idea from one corner of the world. It is a foundational pillar of human spirituality, pretty much everywhere.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This quote is suggesting that sun worship wasn't just one of the religions, it was in many ways the religion. It was like this common spiritual ancestor for so many of the world's great ancient cultures, all of them looking up to that very same source of light. And this was a truly global thing. You've got the Greeks and Romans over in Europe, the Egyptians and Babylonians in the Middle East, and then all the way over to the Mayans in the Americas. It's like it's woven into our collective DNA to look to the sun as this primary, life-giving force. So the whole world looked up to the sun. But how did the Vedic seers take that idea and go even deeper? Well, for them, the sun wasn't just some powerful god you worship from a distance. Nope. It represented something much more profound, something at the very, very core of what existence even is. And to really get this, we have to talk about a key Sanskrit word, Atma. The Atma is the universal self. It's that pure, silent, divine spark that is the true identity of every single living thing. And the Vedic view? It's that the sun is the perfect physical manifestation of this cosmic soul. Why? Because just like the Atma, the sun is the one unwavering, self-luminous source that gives life and light to our entire world. So get this, the sun isn't just a symbol of the divine, it is the visible presence of the divine. It's the point where that universal soul becomes tangible, where we can literally see and feel the power that animates all of us. It is, like it says here, the unity of all life, right there in the sky for us to see.
And to really wrap your head around the sun's role, it's super helpful to compare it to the moon. In Vedic thought, the sun is the Atma, our eternal, unchanging core self. The moon, on the other hand, is the Manas, the mind, with all of its shifting tides of feelings and emotions. So you've got the stable, self-luminous star versus the reflective, ever-changing waters.
Okay, so if the sun is the soul of everything, what's its job among the other planets? Well, the Vedic tradition has this fantastic metaphor for it. It's like a celestial cabinet, a divine government in the sky where every planet has a very specific role to play.
And in this celestial cabinet, there is no question about who's in charge. The sun is the king. It holds all the authority. Sure, you have the moon as the queen, and Mars as the feisty commander-in-chief, Mercury as the clever prince. But all the power, all the direction, it all flows from the top. And the top is the king, the sun.
But what kind of king is the sun? Well, first off, it's royal and noble, a natural leader, and it's described as sattvic, which is a really important idea. Just think of sattva as a state of pure balance, clarity, and truth. And yeah, the sun can be fierce like the scorching heat of a summer afternoon, but it's never seen as cruel. That intensity has a purpose. It's there to burn away all the unessential stuff, all the negativity, to reveal what's pure and real underneath.
All right, we've seen the sun as the soul of the cosmos and the king of the planets, but this isn't just some big abstract story happening out there. That very same king has a direct representative, a little piece of itself, living right inside of you. So the real question becomes, how does this celestial ping show up in your life, in your chart?
And this is really where astrology becomes this incredible mirror for self-discovery. The position and the strength of the sun in your personal birth chart, it's said to be a direct reflection of your own inner king, your connection to your core sense of self, your purpose, and your own personal authority. So what does it point to specifically? Well, it governs these key areas of life. It's about our ego, our sense of self, our individuality, our capacity for honor, and this is a big one. It's the main indicator for the father. Now, why the father? Because, traditionally, our father is our first experience with authority. He's kind of the son of the family. And how we relate to him often becomes the blueprint for how we relate to our own inner authority later on.
And you can see this play out in very real ways. A person with a strong, well-placed sun in their chart, they often just walk into a room with this natural confidence, a strong will, a sense of leadership. On the flip side, a weak or challenged sun might show up as low self-worth, a fragile ego, maybe identity issues, or those classic struggles with authority figures, which can often be traced back to challenges with the father. But the sun's job in our chart actually goes even deeper than just our personality or what happens to us in life. Its ultimate purpose is spiritual. It's meant to be a guidepost, pointing us toward our highest possible self. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The sun's energy in your life isn't just about becoming a CEO or being confident. Its true inner purpose is to push you, to help you transcend your limitations, to move beyond the small everyday you and connect with that huge universal self, the Atman we were talking about. So you can think of the sun in your chart as your personal inner compass for self-realization. It shines a light on your unique purpose, your dharma, and it gives you the willpower and the authority to build your entire life around that purpose and to just burn away anything that isn't true to your core. So we're left with this one final thought. Outwardly, the sun gives light and life to our entire solar system. And what the Vedic seers tell us is that that exact same power, that same self-luminous, unwavering star, exists inside every single one of us. So the only real question is, what would happen if you really truly let that inner sun illuminate your own self?